in the region. The very best. Starting next year in October, we will have the lowest rates for the next 10 years. So that is preposterous that 1 year is going to go up, the rest we're going to be lower than that. No raising of local taxes. Right here, I have a plan where I started lowering fees in the infill development. That's what helped by 50%. That's what helped us get to the prosperity that we have now. Sorry, I got lost with those things. So.
Attention Yuba City voters. In just a few short years, the City Council has voted to increase our water, sewer, and garbage bills, and even started discussion on a sales tax increase. It's an out-of-control money grab. I'm Dave Shaw, a veteran, small business owner, and community volunteer, and I'm running for Yuba City Council. As a local resident for over 30 years, I'm the CEO of Shaw & Associates and an expert in wealth management, taxes, and accounting. I was voted Yuba Sutter's best financial advisor, and my firm was named the 2017 Small Business of the Year. As your councilman, I will move funds from administration to public safety and road repairs. I'll revisit the water and garbage rate increases, and I'll stop the dump because residents do not want a transfer station in the middle of town. And I will fight to stop giving pensions to council members. Remember, vote Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council. Proudly paid for by Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council.
My name is Mark Boomgarden, and I believe in hard work, honesty, American values, and service to the community. Those are the values that have guided me in a lifetime of serving Yuba City as a firefighter, fire chief, businessman, and community volunteer. Those are also the values that have led me to run for council. This is not about fame, climbing the political ladder, or for money. At least, it's not for me. That is why I will not accept any benefits and will donate 100% of my city council pay to local charities. I will tackle wasteful spending, make fighting crime a top priority, bring new focus to dealing with the growing homeless problem, ensure better disaster preparedness, and invest in fixing our roads and water infrastructure. This is our city, yours and mine, so I will always listen and be accessible to you. That's why I've put my personal phone number on all of my campaign material. To learn more, visit markboomgarden.com. That's Mark with a C, Boomgarden with 2 O's and 2 A's. This is Mark Boomgarden, and I approve this message.
What if you for the very first time had true transparency in government? If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
Okay.
Fully endorse Captain Brandon Barnes to be your next Sutter County Sheriff. I've worked with Captain Barnes for over 20 years. Brandon is a graduate of the prestigious FBI National Academy. He was our former SWAT commander and chief of investigations and now holds one of the highest positions in law enforcement as jail commander. He leads and manages a staff of over 80 personnel and an inmate population of almost 400. Folks, your sheriff is the top law enforcement officer in the county. Experience and character are critical. That's why 13 active California county sheriffs, including myself, endorse him. I am beyond confident that Captain Barnes has the skills, the temperament, and the vision to lead Sutter County. I believe this is the most important vote on your ballot. I encourage you to vote Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff.
Paid for by Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff 2018.
My name is Stacy Brookman, and I formally request your vote for a seat on the Yuba City City Council. I am a longtime resident of Yuba City, a retired deputy sheriff, and a local small business owner. If elected to the council, there are several items on which I will place my focus. They are economic development, maintaining proper public safety staffing levels, providing solid leadership to our city employees, continuing on the path to a solution of the homeless issue, cleaning up our rivers, and addressing the looming PERS bubble. We currently have a council that is divided, and it has been made clear this division is not good for the city. As a council member, I give you my word that I will work hard to establish solid working relationships with not only the other members of the council, but other members of the community as well. To do this, I will start day one by showing respect. Respect for the city, respect for city employees, respect for the other council members, and most of all, respect for the community. Please remember to demand respect on November 6th and place your vote for Stacy Brookman.
Hey, Sutter County, vote Val Dillon for Superintendent of Schools. Hi, I'm Tanya Cartwright, a local elementary teacher and coach of 25 years. I've known Val Dillon for over 20 of those. It's a no-brainer to vote Val on your ballot. She's the candidate with the most education, the most experience, hands down.
I'm Dr. Lori Goodman, Principal Superintendent of Winship Robbins Elementary. I love the direction Val is taking Sutter County schools. Small districts like ours have a real voice now. Dr. Dillon believes in funding and supporting small districts. She is helping us get the most out of every dollar for student success.
I'm Stephanie Pasquale, owner of New Adventures Preschool, Inc. I've known Val for over 20 years. Education continues to be a big part of my life, and I encourage you to vote Dr. Val Dillon for Sutter County Superintendent of Schools.
Vote Val on your ballot.
Paid for by Dr. Val Dillon for Sutter County Superintendent of Schools 2018.
Check out the Territorial Dispatch. Papers are weekly and can be obtained free at distribution or by mail through subscription. It's only locally owned and operated newspaper in the region. The paper is the rest of the story. And also check out the E-Territorial. It's an online version of the Territorial Dispatch which features local news and events for the Yuba Sutter, Colusa, and Nevada County areas. You'll also find daily and breaking news updates, current traffic, and weather information, along with a calendar of local events. Visit the E-Territorial at eterritorial.com.
Good afternoon. We are back, and
you're listening to 1410 AM, The Patriot.
104.3 FM.
And we got 3 texts over the break from people asking us to play the John Buckland thing again.
Oh, don't worry. We will.
Nobody listens. How could that possibly be? You're just a liar.
Apparently they weren't listening because we got 3 texts asking, could you play the John Buckland
thing
one more thing?
Could you play it again? Hey, I would like to share this one person who shared with us the gift rules. Because
when did that come in?
I don't know. Either before, it was like before the break. It was right before the break.
But I'm saying it was during the show, right?
It was during the show, yeah.
Okay.
It was during the show.
The gift of rules?
Basic gift rules.
Oh,
whatever somebody gives you, gives a candidate money.
Okay. So gifts worth $50 or more must be reported on one's statement of economic interest, which he did report it on his 700 form. He reported that he got his $250 valued King's box seat ticket. So for the purposes of this rule, gifts from a single source are combined. This means one must report what one received when the total value of a series of gestures from a single gift giver reaches $50 or more. Those subject to gift rules must therefore keep a running tally of smaller gifts in the case the total value of the gifts received from totals up, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, now here's another thing. The annual gift limit is $470 from a single source per calendar year. As a general rule, a public official may not accept a gesture that's worth $470 or more. I'm going into this because...
That's why he didn't claim the limo ride.
There's that, but also, if you remember, he didn't attend just by himself. He also... He and his wife attended.
Yes.
His wife, who also happens to be the city clerk, received the same $250 valued box seat ticket. So combined together, they received $500 as a team, the two of them. Their gift value for that
is like nepotism.
Yeah. So here it's saying your annual gift limit is $470,000. Well, gosh darn,
$470,000.
I mean $470.
Okay.
They came awful close between the two of them. You know, not counting the limo ride, of course, that went along with it. But it also says that a public official may have to step aside from participating in the decision-making process if one accepts a gesture or a series of gestures with a value of $470 or more from a single gift giver in the 12 months preceding the official decision affecting that person. One may have to disqualify from the decision making.
So
now,
14 days is okay.
14 days is far less than an entire year that they received that combined gift of two $250 tickets that they went to this box seat and were wined and dined and went on a limo with these Republic services. And 2 weeks later, he, without hesitation, was happy to cast his vote in favor of providing that was directly, his vote directly benefited Republic Services in that they were now able to cast a bid for that garbage contract in Yuba City.
Now, to be fair and balanced, okay, does she have to report also, being that
Yes,
she is, okay,
and she did.
and she did.
They
Okay,
each
so that
did.
would put them both at 250 and not at 500 as a unit, because they have to declare separately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they did.
Okay, good.
They each did. So there you have it. So for the people who are okay with just a little bit of corruption, there you have your, and it's totally, that's why we're putting the information out there. And when Jason gets told he can't tell the truth, all he's doing is posting John Buckland's Facebook post. John Buckland chose to announce on Facebook that he was gifted this Kings game by Republic Services.
Okay.
And Stanley Cleveland Jr. III, came out and called us liars, liars, and more liars because we reposted his post.
So which part of your post that we reposted is a lie?
I don't get it.
See, me, I don't do Facebook, believe it or not. Okay.
Well, we didn't either.
And I don't know.
7 months ago.
I don't know these guys that well, like some others may, But so I'm just looking at it from the outside, and it seems to be a lot of arrogance.
We will be very happy to not have to be bothered with Facebook anymore, because we still aren't on it. We're not on Facebook personally, but the show has a Facebook page, so we engage because the show has the page, and so we're exposed to
and
stuff.
pretty much that has become the the social media platform.
The
right?
media,
De facto social media. Yeah.
a mode of transportation for media for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And we wouldn't have anything if it weren't for Bill Beeler,
Exactly.
who's the great mind behind it all. He's like the wizard. He's the behind the curtain guy. He makes all the magic happen.
I'm off to see the wizard.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna. I don't want to keep our listeners waiting, and we've had 3 requests to play this again, so I'm gonna play it one more time, and hopefully this will be the last.
Mr. Gwinnett, as a prior POA president who brought forward one of the largest percentage increases for YCPOA, and you hung up on me. Let me reach out to the rest of our community, and I will reach out and tell them that you hung up on me. You don't care about what I have to say. And the fact of the matter is this. Every freaking negotiation, stand up for you guys. Every single one. And if you don't like my message, if you don't like the fact that I stand up for you guys, and you want to vote somebody else, that's fine. What's not fine is when you reach out to somebody that is putting out wrong information. They are lying. They're deceitful, and they are not a fabric of our community. I will rise up against you. I will get every business I can to oppose you, and let's see how well the POA does. All right? I am a businessman. I have invested millions of dollars in this community, and I will rise against you. You can share this with the POA, every member of the POA. Understand what I'm telling you. You have pissed me off by hanging up on me. You, sir, have a good day, and don't ever ask me for a favor or any other item. I owe you nothing. My career is clean, and you, sir, hung up on me, and you are worthless to me. Have a good day.
Now you notice he says,
All
don't
that
ask.
and a baby Ruth.
I'm going to play this part again because I think this is really important right here, because I want you to hear him say this, and then I want you to think about it. So here, let's do this. I'm going to see if I can hit this right on the head.
A favor or any other item. I owe you nothing. My career is clean.
My career is clean. After he says, I've done this and I've done that, and I owe you nothing. My career is clean. He knew he screwed up, and he wanted to throw it out there that his career is clean. I think he knew when he said it that he had bit off more than he could chew, saying, don't ask me for anything, and I owe you nothing now.
Well,
because you didn't give me anything.
That was one of the things that caught my eye when he said my career is clean. I thought, that's a lie.
Yep. And I mean, it's really bad that whenever you got to explain, you're losing.
You're a loser.
Hey, really, do we believe anybody's career is clean? 100% clean?
No.
Come on. No way.
No.
Everybody has faults.
But check it out. This is the difference. Whenever I take King's tickets for me and my friends and my family, I don't have to report it. I work privately. It affects nobody.
Right.
Whenever I get stuff done to my house, it affects nobody. It's private money. And you know what? I do disclose it to the investors that, hey, you know what? I'm going to have this guy do this. They're all about it. They're like, yeah, do it. Go ahead. The contract's already signed. I don't negotiate it before the contract's signed. The contract's signed. We're done. We negotiate then. They know I do it. They're okay with it. Do make what you can, Jay. I don't do it out of other people's money on other people's dimes.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
So, we just got a perfect example of the typical corruption in government. Okay.
I think you
From
got a
bottom to top.
I think you got a prime example of how it's done.
Yes. So can it be changed? That's the question.
I think it can.
Will we ever go back to righteous government?
The first thing is well, this is my belief. The first thing you have to do is you have to get guys in there that don't need the money, don't need a handout, like Dave Shaw, like Mark Boomgarden. They don't need the money. There's no tangible amount that could, a Kings game ticket is not going to sway those guys at all. Stan Cleveland, he told us he's basically broke. Whenever he came in, I got to have this job because I don't have a lot of money coming in. Well, you know what? Then you don't need to be in that position, because that's how corruption starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
this might be a surprise to some people, but for me, I've believed this and watched this for years, okay? I believe under J. Edgar Hoover, okay, one of the very first things that was done to any new politician that made it to the swamp in D.C. is they would bring in the homosexuals, the prostitutes, the whatever kinky
proclivities.
Yeah, that they could get you involved in. And then they would secretly film you and blackmail you from there on out. Now, I believe that's how business is done in the swamp.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, and I mean, that's the whole thing, and it doesn't matter how little you are. It's just like John Buckland with that call. You didn't endorse me. Now you're going to pay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all I know is,
I'm hoping for corruption to end one day, and have righteous government again.
well, this is what's interesting though, is he was calling out one guy there. And, I've ran for city council twice, and I've interviewed with all these folks and the different organizations that back you. It's never one person calling the shots. It's not. It's a group of that bargaining unit that come and meet with you, just like we did as a political spotlight. It's where I learned how to do it. Was from going to these other interviews of, hey, they got a group of people. We need a group of people to interview the candidates. And they do the same thing. And then they have a meeting afterwards, and it's a collective of who are they going to endorse.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we did. So he's calling out one guy and saying that it's his fault because he hung up on him that he didn't get the endorsement of. What I believe happened, and this is my belief, this is my opinion, whatever you want to call
You're
it,
entitled to.
is he didn't get the endorsement, and this is the guy who answered the phone, and he is ripping him apart. Worse than we're hearing, because he knew whenever he called back, it was being recorded. Can you imagine what that conversation was like whenever he had him on the phone one-on-one?
That's
wow.
That's the only stuff he recorded. Yeah, and can you imagine the other conversations that went on with no recording?
Exactly.
And not only with that gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's willing to put that on tape.
Exactly.
What is said that's not on tape?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So we were talking earlier before the break about James Gallagher and his competitor.
Yep.
Okay. And they had a little debate up there in Chico.
Yep.
And I went to the one in Yuba City, and I'm telling you, man, it's a sad state of affairs that the Democrats can't get nobody better than the person that's running against Gallagher, because he outshined her. I mean, it was phenomenal. She didn't bring anything to the table except talking points, Democrat talking points. No substance, and I believe truly that is one of the biggest problems we got in California. We got a bunch of nitwits that have run and got a seat, and the public is really, they got what they deserved because they didn't do their diligence to vet these people. So, but I believe she's going to get creamed.
Undoubtedly,
and I believe this blue wave is a bunch of hogwash, just like they were trying to promote that Hillary was going to win. I didn't believe it for a minute.
No.
Well, hey, I want to give a shout out real quick before I forget to One Eye Blind Media. The guy has really, really, really helped us out through this whole process. 7 months, hasn't asked for a dime. Promoted our stuff, promoted our events, promote. And then every week would take our stuff, we'd retransfer it to him. He would cut it, edit it, make sure we didn't get in any trouble, get us on the YouTube to where everybody could re-listen to us if they couldn't listen to us live.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Then Stan to treat him like that.
Yeah.
What a dick.
What did Stan do?
Go, Bill.
I don't know about it.
Well, yeah.
Maybe it's something we don't want to talk about.
And I do appreciate everything he does, because we like to put it all the music, because we have fun with it, and a lot of the music speaks to what we're talking about, and that unfortunately creates work for him, because then he has to cut out all that music before he can upload it. Well, and he's been doing that, and just being so gracious about it.
And then there was a few times that he didn't listen to the whole show and would upload it, and I'd play a clip somewhere where I didn't tell him I did, and he would have to pull it all back down, recut it again, and then reload it to YouTube because they'd kick it off, and he didn't want it to come down. So he has been really a saving grace to us, and
He did an excellent job. He's an excellent editor. I liked all his graphics and stuff that he throws in there.
Yeah.
He did a good job, remember, in the primary with the shades for the sheriff.
Exactly.
That was that was a real good segment.
It was. And he's done, and he's also went to all the forums and got it out there on the forums to people who couldn't go. He is a real asset to our community.
But Dr. Dennis Hawk didn't cut and run from Shades with the Sheriff.
No, like he did from the Tea Party.
Yeah.
But,
But the Shades with the Sheriff was well done.
It was well done.
Yeah. We had Jeff Pierce, Brandon Barnes, and Dennis Houck, and it was all
Everybody
well done.
enjoyed watching those.
They did.
I did.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
You can still watch them today, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just done a really good job, and he does stuff for Lou Benninger. And, I mean, he's a really good guy. And I know he's starting to get a little bit more publicity out there and do some stuff. But, Chris, we just want to say thank you, buddy. I mean, very, very much thank you so much for being there for us, for helping us through this thing, and even helping us with getting, some of the right graphics on the Facebook page. Just everything you've done. And I know we haven't seen eye to eye on some of our candidates, but you know what? That's what it's about, is we don't always see eye to eye. And you've been up right at the front line, and still putting our stuff out, even if you don't agree with it 100%.
And we don't say that you've pissed us off and we're going to rise up against you.
No, we would. The only people we're here to rise up against is the John Bucklands of the world and the Stan Clevelands of the world. Sorry.
We're rising up against corruption in politics.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't care what your name is, or if you got an R or a D.
Or whether you're Stanley Cleveland Jr. the third.
Yes.
But no, anyways, Chris, thank you very much.
That reminds me, I had more sheetrocker incidents on the job site, which I won't go into, but it's the same old.
You had
same
planks
old.
in the building, I guarantee it.
My planks are in the building.
Yep.
Yeah, my water hose has been co-opted. And all the junk in the house is thrown outside in my way.
Yep, that's a sheetrocker for you. Yeah. But anyways, so One Eye Blind Media, thank you so much for this endeavor, for 7 months of your blood, sweat, and tears of posting this thing and keeping it running for us up on YouTube and everything you've done. We really, all of us out here, greatly appreciate it.
Hey, is Chris going to come join us election night at the headquarters?
I sure hope so. I think he's probably going to be out and about running around to different parties, but I don't know if he is or not, but the invitation is definitely there if he wants to come by. We would love to see you, Chris.
We're just going to be hanging out. We're
at
gonna
least
be
come
live
by there
streaming.
first and get another shot of whiskey.
Oh, yeah, that Mitchers.
Before you go out on your endeavors.
Hey, a small shot.
Yeah, a small shot.
Well, he doesn't drive.
He doesn't drive,
so
he could take a bottle with him.
Also, we want to say thank you to our friend that's not here today.
Yes.
Both of them.
Both of
Both,
them.
yeah.
Yes, both of them. That's right.
Randy Morgan,
Yes.
Liz Cervantes.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had a couple of fill-ins that were really awesome and really came at the time that needed them.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome. I mean, it's been believe it or not, folks. I know you think we come on and it's only 2 hours and it's no big deal. It's a big commitment for 7 months to come out here every Sunday, set up, get ready, and the stuff behind the scenes that you don't see of going and poking these guys with a stick and getting them to come at us. It's for me, it's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's a lot of work. You know, I've been fishing. I've been fishing 3 times, and right now it is fishing season, and I got to go 3 times so far this year. So as soon as this radio show goes off the air, oh yeah,
you got to go 4 times, right?
Exactly.
Guess what? I talked to a friend of mine, contractor, who he won a fishing boat in a derby out on Berryessa.
Oh really?
Wow.
Yeah, a few weeks back. He said.
Yeah, a new bass boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to thank all the people that don't listen.
Yes, there's so many people that just don't listen to our show, yet they know all about it.
How does that work?
Well, I want to thank both our listeners for sure. I mean, that's
what I really
stuck it
do
out with
like
us.
about everybody is that you have been participating. I think it's been a much funner election for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, we all have our opinions. We don't all agree on the candidates in this group, but we do all agree that we should be living and operating under the Constitution of the United States.
Well, I don't want somebody who has been investing millions in the community single-handedly with my money. I don't want that.
No.
I don't care what kind of bragging rights it gets you, but I don't want it. And I don't think as a cop you made millions.
And, well, you never know.
Look at Diamond Dean.
know.
Yeah, Diamond Dean, he made that in 5 years.
Yep. And he's one of the highest police,
Highest
paid
chiefs
throughout the country.
Yeah.
And it took him 5 years to make
And
$1
in
million
California, there was only one other police chief that made more than him, and that was L.A.
Yeah. So I don't think that your regular traffic motorcycle cop is going to make that much to where you invest it. But whatever.
Can we have that song one more time?
What's that?
Motorcycle cop.
Oh,
The traffic cop guy?
Okay, let me... Yeah, go ahead. You guys are going to have to keep talking. It's going to take me a minute.
Well,
I think I've
here we go. I can share another, since we're talking about traffic cops. Well, I can share another response that Dennis Houck got on his Facebook page after his smear campaign. This person writes, I have been in law enforcement for 15 years, and I know everyone involved that was mentioned in this political smear and have worked closely with most of them. This breaks my heart to see so many good men brought into an election and smeared and drug into the dirt for no reason at all. That's kind of sick if you ask me. None of them deserves that, Dennis Houck. Captain Barnes wasn't even involved, but as leaders, we all know that when our guys mess up and make mistakes, we stand next to them when the punishments are handed out. Brandon did that with honor. He did not try to get out of it, nor did he make any excuses. I think that is very well said by that individual.
And we also asked Brandon Barnes at our great meeting that we had the other night if he would be willing to get his deputies into a constitutional class.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and he said he was planning on it.
Yes.
He was looking forward to that.
Wanted Tammy to put together
a condensed version, which we can understand. I mean, I don't want to pay that many deputies to sit around that long either.
Right.
But I think that's really awesome that it is in his thought and it is in his thought process to have him do that. So that's a good idea. Okay, here we go.
Oh, my uniform is so neat as I walk along the street, dressed so nicely from my bottom to the top. All the motorists in sight are incredibly polite, cause they know that I'm a big deal traffic cop. My buttons is nicely signed, and what have we here? Oh, parked in a loading zone. When a motor car I finds in a set of yellow lines, I just purses up my lips all thin and tight. First I scribbles out a ticket, tears it quickly out and lick it. Then I plucks it on the car with all my might. Bad luck, eh?
Bad luck, eh?
How I love to see the piles of the cars for miles and miles as they wait for me to send them on their way. If a fellow in the line tries to flash at me a sign, I just smiles and keeps him waiting there all day. But the best thing that I like is to sit upon my bike, waiting carefully behind the nearest tree. When a car comes shooting past, I just gives my horn a blast. When I chase her, oh, there's just no stopping me. Move your car, man.
Now, Dennis, you can say that you've been bullied and go whine in a corner somewhere. So we're good with that. Because if you're going to throw mud like you're going to throw it, you know what? We're going to throw it right back at you, buddy. When the shovel's full.
I just got a tweet. Bless you. Good Lord.
I've moved away from...
You better wipe the front of
excuse
you
that
there.
sneeze, but I've moved away. I hope...
Better check your pants.
What was the tweet you got?
The tweet was that the president last night mentioned Yes on 6 and real John H. Cox.
He did?
At one of his rallies, yes.
Well, Did he say he was going to come to California?
No, I didn't say that. We'd like to see him here. John Cox is down 4 points last poll. We need Republicans to show up between now and the election. Those of you that don't vote, in the off-year elections, get out. Get out and get to voting.
You're going to make the difference.
You are.
And if we lose, it's all your fault.
That's right. Gavin Newsom is socialist, communist.
Hey, but no matter what, we still have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as the supreme law of the land, and we know that we have so many politicians in California that want to violate that.
Yeah. And they do on a
Yes.
regular
Oh, they
basis,
do.
and then they go ahead and violate it, and then we have to use our money to sue someone who has our money to defend themselves with.
Yes.
Exactly.
But we can continue to live under our Constitution irregardless of their unconstitutional
That's right.
laws. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
It's
it
called
all matters.
Non-compliance.
It matters who is put in those positions to govern our country.
Yes.
Our Constitution is absolutely worthless in the hands of people who have no respect for it and who are not righteous people.
Yeah.
You need to really pay attention who you're voting for and make sure they have those morals and values and ethics that they need to have to hold that office, because otherwise that document is wholly inadequate as
Yes.
it was put.
District 5, Yuba County, write in John Missler.
Yes.
District 3, Sutter County, vote for Mike.
Yeah.
Ziegenmeyer.
Jason, could you get up that clip on John Mitzler again, too? I mean, it is one of the greatest
Oh
I've
my
heard.
goodness, yes, we have to have that clip from John Missler.
Okay, we got to have a lot of stuff in the next 30 minutes.
So-
or 20 minutes.
You better hurry it up, Bubba.
All right, I'm on it. Give me a second.
The other thing you need to do is go to the web pages of John Missler and his opponent. What's his name?
Randy Fletcher,
No,
Al-
the other
Alton
guy.
Wright.
Oh, Alton Wright. Yeah, because boy, talk about people who just are grasping at straws trying to win this election and end up doing the worst thing ever for their own campaigns. You have the poster boys for that, Dennis Houck and Alton Wright, who have just really made a lot of people mad by their actions.
Yeah.
Alton Wright single-handedly responsible for eliminating the source of the territorial dispatch at the post office locations in rural Yuba County, and people are really mad about that. So
Good going, Alton.
Ready for
yeah,
this?
go ahead.
What if you, for the very first time, had true transparency in government? If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
That was from the debate that we had, that we went to over at the Tea Party with him and, Randy Fletcher and Alton Wright. And Alton Wright accused him of having a state-run media if he won, which was just retarded. But
Media. Oh my gosh. So I have here something that will be in the territorial dispatch, and it's a response to Alton Wright's actions. This is a territorial dispatch targeted update. The public takes the hit. So supervisorial candidate Alton Wright and his followers decided that they would cause trouble for supervisorial candidate John Missler, owner of the Territorial Dispatch. They discussed on Mr. Wright's Facebook page the possibilities of boycotting the advertisers, but one individual decided it would be more politically advantageous to force the Territorial Dispatch out of the post offices. Upon a call from Wright or one of his supporters, the post offices of Browns Valley and Brownsville have decided to strictly enforce the office code, barring any publications from being on postal property. The papers were confiscated without conversation with Mr. Missler. The complaint states, this needs to be addressed quickly as the advertising affects the November election. Wright's action was clearly politically motivated because he's specifically referenced the election there. The postmasters of these two post offices were politically duped by candidate Wright. He filed the complaint the same day that his full-page ad appeared in the Territorial Dispatch, thus preventing anyone else's ad from ever being seen. He made sure he got his out there and the paper was still available when his ad was in it.
Yeah.
But now, by golly, we're going to have to make it unavailable so that you can't see anybody else's ad. So in addition, on that same date, Wright filed a complaint with Yuba County to remove the Territorial Dispatch from other government property. In a letter to Wright, Yuba County Council states, so this is a letter from Yuba County Council to Alton Wright, in quotes, the U.S. Supreme Court has defined communicative activities broadly so that First Amendment protection extends to the right to distribute or circulate newspapers, end quote. Yuba County Council further stated, the county finds that permitting the Territorial Dispatch to engage in protected activity of distributing and circulating its newspaper of general character and the county's government center serves a substantial public interest. Wright's complaint was denied. Yuba County does not oversee the post office, however. They both have to abide by the First Amendment. The Territorial Dispatch is the only newspaper in the foothills of Yuba County, and it's free. This situation presents an abridgment of the First Amendment due to the remote nature, a lack of convenience, and availability to provide free press, including government-required legal notices, to this rural population. I won't go on to read this. You can see this. It'll be, I believe, in the Territorial Dispatch. But this is an important point that this attempt was a backfire. For one, people are very angry that where they used to get their Territorial Dispatch, it's no longer available to them. Two, I know if you go to Alton Wright's Facebook page, he was making comments that there was, this was in violation of federal laws, and there is no federal law. These are office policies. These are policies that, they're not going to have any publications in their post office, which have never been followed in these rural locations because that's a community center. That is the place where communication happens, is in their post office. They don't have internet hardly in those areas. They, a lot of the people have limited availability of transportation, and they just don't have a lot of options of getting information to these people. This was a very valuable source of getting information to the people. It's a place they go to anyway. They go to the post office to get their mail. So this was definitely an abridgment of their right to that free press, their access to that free press.
It just keeps getting deeper, doesn't it?
Deeper
what
deeper.
kind of made me smile is Alton Wright actually put a full-page ad in the Territorial Dispatch.
Yeah,
his
he
competitor's
did.
newspaper.
He did not mind at all
Yeah.
using that media for his own benefit.
How do you think that felt to write that check?
So that newspaper, he evidently deemed it was worthy to get out to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very interesting.
Because he gets it. I mean, that is the newspaper of the foothills.
That's a newspaper I want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever I'm out and about and I get a chance to pick up a copy, you bet I pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even read the other newspaper unless it's brought to my attention by somebody.
Yeah,
because every time I do, it's one-sided. It doesn't present all the facts. And I'm tired of that. I like the way the Territorial
Do
puts
you appeal
things.
to the Democrats? Is
The
that what
appeals
you're-
to Democrats, yep.
My wife, she's a subscriber, so we get it every day. And so I do get to look at some of the articles in there. I don't read it like she does. That's a ritual for her, Coffee in the newspaper. A lot of people, a lot of Americans, that's their morning thing. I was on a job the other day, and a lady was doing that. She just got up, coffee, newspaper. So
Yeah.
it's an American staple, really.
Yep. But Territorial Dispatch is true, as he says, transparency in government. He is definitely very good at
Yeah.
putting
So,
out the truth.
yeah, if you haven't sent in your ballot, or you go down on election day, write in Mistler, Mistler.
That's right.
It would be great to see this guy back in county supervisor seat.
Yep. I think Yuba County would be very well served by having John Mistler back in the county seat.
One thing that we touched on also this year was the water agency and, and all the big money that's going out in water and stuff like that. So we just scratched the surface on that. You know, we need to, if you're interested, you know, we need to dig into that a little more, each one of us on our own, see what's happening. I think water is going to be, well, it already is. It's been a control factor for eons, you know, and it's still today.
We'll be doing some Facebook promotions, huh?
Facebook.
Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight.
Yeah, but no, that was the driving force of the whole reason why John Mistler stepped up to the plate and decided, you know, he felt obligated. He needs to run.
Yeah, because they denied the people the right to vote.
Yeah, he denied the people's voice.
Yeah. Now, I did notice my water bill has gone up again.
Don't tell Stan about that.
Yeah.
No.
And my garbage bill went up again.
But I thought we were having the best rates.
Well, I saw even Dave Shaw's, he's got a flyer out there.
He's a liar.
Just ask John Buckland, Stan Cleveland.
But I mean, it showed a 96-gallon garbage can or whatever for Yuba City and one for Live Oak, and it was almost half the price in Live Oak.
Really?
I mean, that's what I recollect on that.
Yeah.
And my wife was throwing all those flyers away, and I said, no, I want to see them all. And
Well,
so
you
she
don't
went out
wanna-
and dug them out of the trash,
You don't
coffee
wanna
stains and
believe-
everything.
You don't want to believe what you can see. You only want to believe what you hear from John Buckland or Stan Cleveland. So don't look anywhere
Oh, we
else.
heard it all today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got something here that says water, and I have no idea what it is, so it's going to be just a.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm sure it has to do with Yuba County water.
Is that it?
I think that's what the Yuba Sutter County supervisors have, is a love affair with water.
Yep.
But if it made me that kind of money, I'd probably have a love
Hey,
affair
water's power, man.
with it. Yeah,
Mhm.
no doubt about it.
Water is power and money. Just ask the Yuba County supervisors.
That was from the night we had the election. We did the 4 hours for the election on the primary. You know, this has been a lot of fun. It really has been a lot of fun to come out and just jab people with a stick and to point out, you know, that they're not telling the truth.
I think you like it. I think you enjoy it. I see a smile on your face every time you poke.
Well, I tell you what I've learned. I've learned is that people do not like to hear the truth when it makes them look bad. They don't like it. In fact, they turn around and call you a liar. But they won't back it up with anything in writing or in proof, where all we simply do is we put people's posts up. We have copies of their, subsequent votes at a council meeting.
Their recordings.
We have their recordings. I mean, we give you the information, and you guys can make up your own mind. Sure, you hear our spin on it, but you're free to make up your own mind. If you're okay with a little bit of corruption, that's fine too.
Just a little bit. That's all right.
You're okay with that. You get it.
But whenever you have a city councilman who says he spent millions, you should be raising eyebrows. And then whenever he says, well, I've helped you out and if you're not going to support me, then I'm not going to help you out anymore, should be raising both eyebrows. I mean, this stuff should be making you just squirm in your chair, and you should be madder than hell.
That's magnified all over the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But boy,
At
and I
the
mean, but
local
this
level.
is
And
right
so-
here in your own backyard.
So these guys they start as city councilmen or attorneys, and then mayors, and then county supervisors, and then state senators, and right? So, I mean, it's no wonder we have a swamp, right?
Yeah.
Full of salamanders up there
Oh, that's
And-
right. We were going to talk about salamanders today.
Yeah, the
I just
mud
want to know
sucking salamanders.
that lady that thought a little bit of corruption was okay. I just want to know whose sister-in-law she was.
I don't know.
I'm sure she was.
She must be related to somebody, because otherwise
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit of corruption's not okay.
That's right.
So you guys have heard me say over the years what I believe are the two greatest weapons in the world. Do you recall that?
Water, mind
Water
control.
Water and
food.
mind control.
Oh.
I
Water.
listen
Yeah.
to Tom quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Mind control, that is the ability to sway the minds of the people,
Mhm.
and controlling the water supply.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which swaying the minds of the people, that brings to mind. I've been reflecting a lot on this lately because I'm teaching this class about, explaining to Christians what your duty is in civil government and why the Bible teaches what your responsibility is in civil government, why you need to not only run yourself or be involved or at least be in the know, but you need to be voting. You have to take the responsibility and participate. It's your responsibility to do so. But how does a Christian reconcile with the beliefs and values of a Democrat? If you have somebody who stands up for their so-called right to choose between,
Abortion.
Yeah.
how do you reconcile that with being a Christian? You can't. You can't support murder of innocent life.
No.
So if you do cast your vote for a Democratic person who stands for that, there are, I'm sure, Democratic people who don't align with every social value that are held by Democrats, and I can respect that. But I'm saying if you can cast your vote for somebody who does hold that value, that they believe it's okay to murder an innocent life, how do you do that and still be a Christian? You can't. You can't do it. So you've compromised yourself, you've compromised your Christianity, and you've compromised your own personal values. So at a bare minimum, you need to be taking that into the voting booth with you.
Yeah. Well, you certainly would be one of the dumbest down Christians I ever met,
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you can't reconcile that. I mean, it's clear in the Bible.
Mhm.
I mean, there are a lot of people that say they're Christians, and they can't even recite one Bible verse.
No.
So.
And Jesus
Or
didn't
some
say,
people believe because they're born in America, they're Christians.
he didn't say, do as I say some of the time, or, follow my teachings, if it's convenient, or, unless society thinks it's okay. If your neighbors are okay with it, but I think it's wrong, do what your neighbors think. That's not it.
No.
You follow the Bible exactly the way he tells you.
Yep, that's the way it's
He set the rule. We have a standard of law in this country, and it is the Bible. It's the laws of nature and nature's God. That is what our Constitution is built on. That is the undergirding principle of it. That is our foundation of all law. It is standard. It does not change.
It reminds me of a verse in the book of John, and I can't give you the page number or whatever, but it is in the book of John, and it was Jesus said, he said, I did not come into the world to judge the world. And he said, there is one that judges. The words that I have spoken, the same shall judge you in the last day. So that's pretty heavy right there, huh?
Hmm.
In other words, and he says, I came to save the world.
Yeah.
But the words that he has spoken in the Bible are going to be, that's what we're going to be judged against.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a pretty heavy
Oh,
word.
yeah. Bill wanted a minute to thank the listeners.
Just thank the listeners. Hopefully we imparted something to them over these past 7 months.
Other than my lies.
Well,
Because you just
everybody
can't
knows,
tell the
yes,
truth.
I know.
You just can't tell the truth. But yeah, we appreciate each and every one of you. Those that listen, those that never did.
Hey, no, what you're saying,
we're immortal on YouTube.
we appreciate
Thanks, Chris Starkey.
We appreciate the listeners who listened and lied about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of those things never mind, I can't even say that on the radio, but I'll tell you guys later.
You could.
My
It's
dad
our
used
last
to
show.
say.
All
But-
the people who aren't listening right now, I really appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of them. But
And
no,
I want to thank Bill because through all of this, through everything, he's been there 100%. He's at the campaign headquarters.
every night.
He's keeping the websites up to date. He's posting things that need to be posted. He's keeping, the information flowing on our Facebook pages. He does a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah, and I want to thank
It's
Tammy.
a thankless job.
I wanted to thank Tammy Reichert.
Yes.
Because she has kept the ball rolling too, communicating with a lot of candidates and handling.
It's a group effort.
That schedule.
We all do
Yeah.
what we can do, and that's what it boils down to. We all do what
It was
we
a
can
group
do
effort.
to our limit.
Yeah. It really
We
was.
all have our various limitations that but I can honestly say about everybody who's in this group, we do as much as we could possibly do as individuals.
And all the crew that came out and helped us put the constitutional headquarters together, because we had a good bunch of guys come in there.
Yes.
Joe
Yes, we did.
Carwell, Adrian, his wife, on and on.
Everybody. And I mean, then, all the little things behind the scenes of getting the liquor license, figuring out how to get the liquor license, and then Liz getting the building. And I mean, just everybody did something.
And
That was the best part about it is nobody, I mean, we're not listing everybody, but I'm saying everybody did something. And even guys that we don't see, like your brother Bob, came out and framed that thing for us. I mean,
Thank
really
you, Bob.
was a key framer on getting that frame together. I mean, everybody did something.
You know why I asked Bob to come and help frame? Because I knew we couldn't do it.
Exactly. Well, but here,
I knew we could, but it would take 3 times longer.
exactly. We'd have been there a whole week just framing the darn thing. We had it done in a night. But I mean, that's the thing is, some gave all gave some. And it really was that with that headquarters. And everybody is still going strong. It's been really, really awesome to see the people come together.
And next
push.
time, just think what we can do in this community if we all chose to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
rather than
could we
fight.
have done if we weren't so divided?
Yeah. I'm going to play this real
Hear
quick.
that, Jerry Libby?
And this is probably going to take us out. So I just want to say goodbye to everybody. And it's been a really, really good time. I don't know. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, we'll be
But-
around again because this was an important election year. That's why we chose to do it. But I'm sure there'll be a need again.
Well, I want everybody to think of something. It's all on the table. You have 3 city council seats with 3 good guys that could win. If you push them through the uprights, you've got Dave Shaw, you've got Mark Boomgarden, you got Stacy Brookman, who will make a change. Doesn't even matter about the rest of the city council. You've got a sheriff that can make a change with Brandon Barnes. Missler getting elected could be huge. So I'm going to play this real quick. Thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure. And thank you guys for
God
sticking
bless.
with us.
God bless everybody.